Hello aspirants, welcome to IAS Icons by Unacademy. This is me Shubham Sardhalia and we are continuing with our discussion for NCERTs. In this class we are discussing History NCERT for class 6th chapter number 7. We have been discussing NCERTs for History and Geography on this channel IAS Icons. Chapter wise we have reached up till chapter number 7L. Today's discussion will be all about this. I request all the students to join the class at the earliest so that we can start with our today's discussion. Before we proceed further, I just want to tell you that if you are aiming to qualify this examination, if you aim to become IAS, IPS, IRS officer or be part of India's bureaucracy, you have to enroll with us in India's largest learning platform, that is Unacademy. We at Unacademy will help you qualify this examination, which will take you to the top offices of the country. Why Unacademy, sir? Unacademy offers you widest choice of educators. You get flexibility to change your course. You can view the lectures unlimited times. We give you live mentorship, end-on-end support, comprehensive preparation you can do with the help of Unacademy. So aspirants like you are the toppers today. You can avail this opportunity to learn from the top educators of the country. My name is Shubham Sardhalia. I am your educator and mentor for this UPSC CSE examination. You can enroll with us in our Plus and Iconic subscriptions, where we will be giving you regular classes for all these subjects for this UPSC examination. You can enroll with us in the course using this code IAS Icons. So this code IAS Icons will fetch you maximum discounts on our Plus and Iconic subscriptions. You simultaneously using the very similar code IAS Icons, you can opt for optional subscriptions also. These optional subscriptions will help you prepare for the optionals. And for all those students who want notes, sir, notes become really important, and many of you have this demand that, sir, we want comprehensive notes with the help of which we can start our preparation. So only at rupees 9,900 you can get these notes by Unacademy. Our batches are starting super soon, and for all those who are unable to pay the entire amount at once, we give you the option of 0% EMI, where at easy monthly installments you can purchase our course. Good afternoon, Kirti, how are you? So sir, we are starting with the 7th chapter, Ashoka, the emperor who gave up the war. Can you please tell me something you know about Ashoka as a warrior? Who was Lord Ashoka, or who was King Ashoka? Good afternoon, Shivam, how are you? You must have read somewhere, you must have heard this name, you must have studied about him. Ashoka the Great. He belonged to a very famous empire in the country. What empire was that? Yes, Kirti, you are right. He fought Kalinga War. So Ashoka was the ruler or the king of famous empire. Can you please name that empire? Can you please name the empire which Ashoka ruled once? Thank you, Kirti. Thank you, Pragati. So there was a mighty empire known as Mauryan Empire. We talked about Janpadas. Then we went on to Mahajanpadas. In Mahajanpadas we discussed about Panchal, we discussed about Gandhar. Janpada, Mahajanpada. Ultimately these Mahajanpadas took the shape of empire. So we had kings or rajas, and then we had emperors. Can you please tell me what is the difference between king and an emperor? What is the difference between a Mahajanpada, kingdom, or an empire? Anything you know about it? Good afternoon, Aparna. How are you? So sir, what was happening? There was this king who ruled the famous Mauryan Empire. So what was this Mauryan Empire, sir? It became the much more important than Mahajanpadas. So initially we had Janpadas, then we talked about something known as Mahajanpadas, and after Mahajanpadas we had something which were even bigger. So empire is a very big Mahajanpada. We can consider it as an area which is vast enough, and the person, the leader who controls it is known as empire, is known as the emperor. So undoubtedly it is the big holding when it comes to size. You must have seen this emblem. Where have you seen this? This emblem is often associated with bureaucracy. What do we call this? This emblem, you must have seen it at places. What this emblem is known as? It is national emblem of India. Undoubtedly, sir, you see it on various places. Carved on a stone, placed at the top of a massive stone pillar at Sarnath. We call it Ashoka's thumb or Ashokan, the loin capital. So, Ashoka was the ruler who got this loin shaped pillar made, who got this thumb made. It was carved on a piece of rock. It represented various things. And recently, this loin capital was in news. If you remember, one such Ashok's thumb was being established on the new Parliament House. Remember, like a month or two ago, this same loin capital or the Ashok's thumb was brought to be established, brought to be fixed at the top of new Parliament building, and there was certain things evolving around it that the loins look more fairy there as compared to the original ones, but that's none of our discussion. So Ashoka was the person who gave us this Ashok's thumb or the loin capital. Ashoka is known as a unique ruler. Why is known as a unique ruler? Any idea? What made him to be remembered as the unique ruler? Can you tell me? What made him the ruler who was different from others? Sir, what made him different was every ruler fought a battle, he fought a war, and what war was fought for to conquest, to capture an area. In a similar manner, King Ashoka also went to fight a war. The war was known as the Battle of Kaling. He went to fight that battle so that he can get hold of a certain area, but after winning the battle, he gave up that conquest. He no longer wanted to capture that area. Can you please tell me why? What happened that this Kaling war fought somewhere around 2400 years ago, somewhere in 261 BC? This important battle, which ultimately changed the course of an empire, changed the mindset of an emperor. He is a unique ruler because he was the only ruler in the history who gave up the directions to people through inscriptions. Shivam Kushwaha, I'm sorry because this channel is exclusively meant for the classes and content in English. So I am afraid I won't be able to provide you the slides in Hindi. So there were certain reasons why he became a unique ruler. He was the first one who got his thoughts, who got his ideas inscribed on the pillars so that a common man can read them, common man can understand them. These inscriptions were in Prakrit and were written in Brahmi script. What is Brahmi script? What is a script? What is a script? Yeah, Dhamma and Ahimsa, Kirti, Aparna, Pragati, all are right. He accepted Buddhism. He propagated Buddhism. So there were various reasons. One such reason was the Battle of Kaling, that is Lord Ashoka fought somewhere around 261 BC, where after the battle was won, he saw that lakhs of people died. So he realized that for what I have been fighting the battle, today I am standing on the pile of bodies of these many people, and that's what changed his mindset. So we were talking about Brahmi script. What is a script? Can you tell me? You must have heard, you must have studied that Devanagari is the script for Hindi. So what is Devanagari? Sir, when we write something like this is Hindi, and the art of writing this Hindi is called as Devanagari. Just like that, Prakrit had a Brahmi script. For that, A was written something like this. For example, Punjabi language has Gurmukhi script. So in that, letters are written like this. So how we write a language, the method of writing a language becomes its script. For example, Hindi script is Devanagari. Punjabi script is Gurmukhi. In the very similar manner, the language that was used for these inscriptions were Prakrit and was written in Brahmi script. Are we following it? So Ashoka tried to conquer Kaling. Where is Kaling? Can you please tell me? Can anybody tell me where is Kaling? Where is Kaling? The present day states of Odisha and the areas around. You see Odisha and the parts of Telangana. So these southwestern side of the country is what was known as Kaling. So he fought this battle for Kaling, but when he saw the bloodshed that had occurred, when he saw how many people had lost their lives, he decided to give up the violence, he decided to give up the bloodshed, and decided that he will not fight any more wars. He gave up the war, he gave up the battles, he decided to propagate the philosophy, he decided to propagate the teachings that Lord Buddha had given. Yesterday's class, no, I think class before, like the chapter number 5, I guess. In chapter number 5, we discussed about the teachings of Lord Buddha and Lord Mahavira. So both Lord Buddha and Lord Mahavira were of the opinion that we should not cause any harm to any living being. So he realized that when already great people like Lord Buddha and Lord Mahavira were telling not to harm even the smallest of the creature, I here is killing lakhs of people. So he decided to completely give up the wars, and he decided that the teachings that Buddha gave to the world, I will preach that teachings to the entire world. I let the world know about this teaching. So he was highly inspired by Lord Buddha's teaching. He appointed officials who would go and teach people about Dhamma. What is Dhamma? Do you know that? What is Dhamma? We have been using this term Dhamma. What is Dhamma? The literal meaning of Dhamma is to uphold. To uphold means like he was asking people to uphold the teachings of Lord Buddha, that if Lord Buddha has told us certain things, we need to uphold. And these teachings which were required to be upheld included non-violence, not hurting other, living a peaceful life, helping people. All these things were called as Dhamma, or to uphold the teachings. So he decided that he will appoint people who will propagate this Dhamma. They will go to different places and will tell about this Dhamma, and the officials who were appointed were called as Dhamma Mahamata. So Dhamma Mahamata, we need to remember this. This can be asked as a direct question. Dhamma Mahamata were the people, were the officials who were appointed by King Ashoka. So you can get the question like this: which of the following terms related to, which of the following statements related to Mauryan Empire are correct? So you can be given a statement like this: Chandragupta Maurya appointed Dhamma Mahamata. So we need to remember Chandragupta Maurya, he was grandfather of King Ashoka. So it was not Chandragupta Maurya, it was actually Chandragupta Maurya's grandson King Ashoka, who appointed officials to propagate about this philosophy of Dhamma, and he named them as Dhamma Mahamata. The capital city, we came to know about the capital city. What was the capital city of Mauryan Empire? Capital city of Mauryan Empire. We talked that initially try to connect the things. Sir, we talked about Janpadas, and we then decided that there was something even bigger than Janpada, it was Mahajanpada. Since it was big, so that Mahajanpada couldn't be controlled from all the places, so that's why it was controlled from one location, which was known as the capital. In a similar way, even empire was even more bigger. So this empire was controlled by its capital. So the capital city of this Mauryan Empire was named as Patliputra, the present day areas of Patna. So Patna, Patliputra and the adjoining areas, Magध. So Magध and Patliputra were the important capitals. We came to know about these capitals. Do you know? We have a written record about the life in this capital. How the life was there in this capital. And do you know how we know that? There was one traveler. He was an ambassador actually, who was sent to the court of Chandragupta. We will talk about Mauryan Empire. Lord Ashoka, this King Ashoka was the member of Mauryan Empire, which was established by his grandfather Chandragupta Maurya. And during the court of Chandragupta Maurya, the Greek ruler of West Asia, whose name was Seleucus Nicator, sent his ambassador, and the name of the ambassador was Megasthenes. Sir, we need to remember, we can be asked this question, a very straightforward factual question. Megasthenes, the Greek ambassador, was sent during the reign of, so we need to remember that he was sent during the Mauryan Empire when the ruler was Chandragupta Maurya. So Megasthenes, he came to Patliputra, he learnt about Patliputra and he explained each and everything in his book. The name of the book is Indica. So it is important. In Megasthenes Indica, he gives the account of this important capital city of Mauryan Empire. He tells that the Mauryan Empire was so strong. He said that whenever the empire had to appear in public, he was carried in a golden palanquin. Palanquin is doli, in which brides are carried, in which important people are carried. So Megasthenes in his Indica mentioned that this empire was so rich that king was carried in a golden palanquin. His guards were riding on elephants, and those elephants were decorated with gold and silver. Some of his guards were carrying trees on which birds were living. The emperor or the king had a huge army, and his servants used to taste the food before it was served to the king in order to ensure that food is not poisoned. He had a huge mansion, what we call as a fort or a castle, that he never used to sleep in same bedroom for more than 2 nights. The modern day Patna or Patliputra was the capital, and it was, all these things were mentioned by Megasthenes in his book Indica. He told that this city has had 571 towers and 64 gates. The king's palace was decorated by wood, it was decorated by stones, it was decorated by gold, it was decorated by precious metals, and it had gardens and enclosures around it. So what is this entire thing indicating, sir? It is telling us the richness of India and richness of Indian empires. When Ashoka realized that he should live a life of non-violence, he should follow the teachings of Lord Buddha, he got this message inscribed on the rocks and pillars. He asked his men to inscribe the rocks and pillars with such messages, and that's how this Ashokan Stambh came into being. He sent his messengers to spread the Dhamma to lands such as Syria, Egypt, Greece, Sri Lanka, etc. We need to remember the nearby regions and even the far off regions like Syria, Egypt and Greece also. Ashoka sent his messengers. What were the name of messengers? Dhamma Mahamata. They were the officials who were spreading this entire knowledge, this entire message of Lord Buddha. After Mahajanpadas, the first major empire that came up was this empire of Maurya. We call it as Mauryan Empire. So we talked about Indus Valley civilization, we learnt about hunters and gatherers, then eventually, gradually people started leading a settled life in Janpadas. These certain Janpadas became more important. We called them as Mahajanpadas. Followed by the Mahajanpadas, the large areas of Mahajanpadas, they eventually were made into the regions which were ruled by a king or an emperor. They were known as what? They were known as the empires. So are we following it? The first empire that we saw in the history is named as what? It is named as Sir Mauryan Empire. About 2300 or somewhere around 260 BC we find the mention of Mauryan Empire. So Mauryan Empire, it was founded by Chandragupta Maurya, and Chandragupta Maurya was supported by, he had one of the most intellectual person the world has seen. What do we call him? Chanakya or Kautilya. Sir, Chandragupta Maurya had this person named Chanakya or Kautilya, we call him. There was another name for him. He was known by some another name also. Can you please tell me? We need to know that also. He was known by the name Vishnu Gupta. So in the court of Chandragupta, there was one person, Chanakya, Kautilya or Vishnu Gupta, who guided the king on all the important matters, and he wrote about the Mauryan Empire. He wrote about how the things were to be ruled in his book called as Arthashastra. Are we following it? So Chanakya wrote this very important book which is known by the name Arthashastra, and it is even today used while ruling people, while government tries to make policies. Are we following it? So Chandragupta had this important individual, important person by the name Chanakya or Kautilya. The Mauryan Empire was spread to the vast areas. Here we have the areas of Kalinga, here we have Patliputra, then areas around we have Kaushambi, and in Sarnath. Sarnath was the place we discussed about this Sarnath in yesterday's class also. Why we discussed Sarnath in yesterday's class? Can you please let me know? We talked about Sarnath in yesterday's class. Do you know the reason why we were discussing about Sarnath in yesterday's class? There was some mention of Sarnath, Buddha's first ceremony, exactly. After Buddha attained enlightenment, he went on to give teachings to people, and he gave his first sermon in Sarnath under a Bodhi tree, people tree, we call this as a Bodhi Vriksh. So that same Sarnath has this Ashoka stump from where it was procured and from where it was found, and ultimately it is used as an official emblem for the country. Chandragupta Maurya founded this empire 2300 years ago. His grandson Ashoka ruled the empire later. Ashoka was supported by a wise man called Chanakya, who wrote the book by the name Arthashastra. The Mauryan Empire had several important cities like Patliputra, Takshila, Ujjain. The area adjacent to the capital was under the direct control of the emperor, and emperor gave the authorities to officials to collect taxes. We talked about these things in last chapters also, that eventually when these Janpadas became Mahajanpadas, now the rulers had to collect taxes because they had to maintain armies, they had to build castles, they had to build forts. So that's why the taxes were being collected. The areas were, or other areas or provinces had their own provincial capitals. According to Arthashastra written by Kautilya, the northwest was important for blankets and South India for gold and precious stones. So northwestern part, sir, northwestern part includes what the areas around Punjab, following up till Gujarat and Rajasthan. Then South India, even today also, you must have heard of this movie KGF, Kolar Goldfields. So majority of precious stones and gold is found in southern India. The most famous emperor of Mauryan Empire was King Ashoka. He gave the message of non-violence, he gave the message of Dhamma in Prakrit language, which was written in Brahmi script. The present day Odisha, Ashoka wanted to control the present day Odisha, which was known as Kaling. He fought this important battle of Kaling, but immediately after the battle he gave up the bloodshed and became the only king who gave the conquest forever after winning a war. He won a war, and after that he decided no more wars. So he went on to help people. He started making things easier for people. He built roads, he dug wells and built rest houses. He arranged for the treatment of unwell humans and animals because he learnt it from Lord Buddha that we should be kind, compassionate to each and every living organism. So he decided to protect animals, he decided to help animals, he arranged for their treatments also. So these are the certain things which we need to know about Ashoka and his ideas. Any doubt up till here? Ashoka banned things like animal sacrifice. Ashoka, when he started this Dhamma policy, he realized that just as a father tells his children about what to do and not to do, similarly he felt that just what duty a father has for his family, a ruler or an emperor has the same duty for his entire empire. So that's why he instructed people to teach. Kirti, Prakrit is actually a script. Prakrit is a script. Prakrit is a language which was used. So Prakrit actually comes from Prakriti, natural. So Prakrit language is like the natural language that people got to know. Yes, even today there are certain sources from Prakrit. We are not using it as of now, but certain texts are there in Prakrit as a language. So King Ashoka, he started helping people. He performed various rituals. He asked people to be kind, to be compassionate towards each other. So that's all for the discussion of this chapter. We'll end our today's discussion here because that's were the things we had to discuss in this chapter. Before I leave, I just want to tell you about the test series. We are giving you test series for optional subjects. We are giving you test series for GS subjects. You can now get your doubts cleared with the help of doubt browse feature at Unacademy app. You can simply go to Unacademy doubts and solutions section, click on past previous examinations, and all the past questions that have been asked in the examination previously, you can simply understand them on Unacademy app. This will help you a lot. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to this channel, join us, enroll in our courses for plus and iconic subscription using this code IAS Icons, because this code will help you get maximum discounts on all the courses. Thank you very much. All the best. Keep working hard. Bye bye. Take care. Jai Hind.